Confirm the audio and the video ones. Good evening, everyone. यूट्यूब पे सिर्फ अच्छा उधर पैसों क्या फ़ायदा राइट देखो प्री क्रैश कोर्स यूट्यूब पे है जहाँ पे बेसिकली आई टेल यू व्हाट डज इट मीन प्री कैट क्रैश कोर्स जो है ये बेसिकली इसलिए है कि जो शुरुआत की बेसिक चीज़ें हैं वेरी बेसिक स्टफ दैट इज़ व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डील विद टुडे देयर माइट लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु आर नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ iQuanta and they want something from the basics, so we'll be doing only the basics today. For this complete week, we'll be doing the basics, then we'll switch on to moderate to difficult level things. Today I'll be discussing certain things which all of us should know to crack quant. Okay. So first of all, let's have an overview. There are majorly, broadly 5 different topics, 4 topics, and one is miscellaneous, that is mix of everything. ऋषभ लास्ट बैच को अटेंड करना है हाँ arithmetic, algebra, geometry, PNC and numbers and miscellaneous. So from what I have gathered of the last 5 to 6 years paper, so this is the normal on an average, this is what comes. As you can see, arithmetic, algebra and geometry, they form 80% of the entire paper. Okay? From arithmetic, geometry, only these 3. So let's say because you have very much less time left and you're not sure what to do, and this is the right time to begin with, where we have close to 70 days. Even if you go through these 3 topics, you'll be covering 80% of the syllabus, and that means even if you solve just 60% of the paper correctly, not even 60, even if you solve 50% of the paper correctly, you'll be able to get more than 98 percentile, that is for sure. Okay? So this is the right time, and now the thing that I require from you guys is to go through all the things which will be going to teach you, and try to practice as many questions as you can. For the next 70 days, you don't have to do anything except studying for CAT. No reels, no memes, no cinema. Of course, you can watch a movie probably in the weekend. ये कर सकते हैं to change your time, to change your mind, but do not do anything else apart from this. If you do it, you'll be cracking CAT for sure. This is the overview. I hope all of you have taken a screenshot of this. Now the first thing that we'll be doing is arithmetic. So I'll be discussing the basics of arithmetic, which will be required for all the things that we're going to teach from the next week. All right. Ricky, of course, कर सकते हो. So as you can see, the beautiful colors. Arithmetic देख के मालूम पड़ रहा है. It is about some calculations, multiplication, all that stuff is there. And arithmetic is all about this only, basically calculations. So let us deal with few important things of arithmetic. Percentages are the building blocks. They are the building blocks. All right. Maximum questions for arithmetic have 2 things in common. One is percentages and other is ratios. So we'll be doing these 2 things today, and all of you know what are percentages. So if anything is presented as a fraction of 100, that will be a percentage. So when I say x%, that means x upon 100. This is something which all of you know. I know all of you know this. Now there are certain things which you should know, and tell me if you know this or not. Second point, you should know the percentage equivalent of all the fractions from 1 by 1 to 1 by 20. I hope all of you know it. Yes or no? Gaurav, you can of course skip, but if you do it, it won't be a problem. This is done by everyone. The second point, all the percentage equivalents. Okay. Now, there are certain things which we must understand. For example, if someone wants to, I'll give you some kind of questions, basic questions. So if I want you to tell me the fractional equivalent of 93.75%, be quick and tell me what will be the answer. You have to do this till 1 by 20, that is very important. Those who are saying no, or most of them, or till 1 by 12, you should have covered all of this. Arijit, this is very important. If you skip this, that means you are not prepared for CAT. Now tell me the answer to this one, 93.75%. Ranisha will be discussing the basics of arithmetic, algebra and geometry. The fundamentals. Byrne says 9375 upon 100, 0.75 upon 100. I want the simplest fraction, Byrne, the simplest fraction. Some people are saying 7 by 8, some are saying 5 by 6. Now that means that most of you are not well prepared in this part. Shubham says 15 by 16. I don't know why. Vishwek, Vedic math this time? No. I don't think it should be done. Hello Kanishka. Hi Vatsal, Jayant, Piyush. Okay, so so basically people are divided into different answers. Some are saying 15 by 16 and some are saying 7 by 8. Okay, let me explain this to you. So whenever we have something like this, which is very close to 100%, है ना, ये 100 के पास है, so I can break it down as 100% minus 6.25%. Alright, 100% is 1 by 1 and 6.25% is how much? This is equal to 1 by 16. So let's subtract it and the answer will be 15 by 16. Is that clear? सुचित, हाँ बिल्कुल बेसिक्स की क्लास चलेगी कि बहुत से लोग नए हैं, बहुत से लोग ऐसे जिनको बेसिक्स चाहिए होता है. That is why we are doing it. The answer is 15 by 16. Now I am assuming that you know these fractional values. 6.25% is 1 by 16. We get our answer. Cool? Let us do one more. What if I ask you the equivalent of 55%? 55%. Be quick. So we have Xavier in the chat. Divyanshu, you are using the DP of Xavier, the famous social media comedian, huh? Some are saying 9 by 20, some are saying 11 by 20. Okay, 55% is nothing but 50% plus 5%. This will be equal to 1 by 2. Now, if 50% is 1 by 2, 5% will be 1 by 20. So, our answer is 11 by 20. Alright, now it depends on how we break it. And we break it in such a way that we remember, or we are familiar with the percentage that we have broken into. So, let me ask you one more. What if I ask you 43.75% of 256? Tell me the answer. जिन लोगों का कोर्स कंप्लीट हो चुका है उनके लिए एक बहुत अच्छा रिवीजन है ये, द एंटायर क्रैश कोर्स, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द वेरी बेसिक्स गोइंग टू द मोस्ट एडवांस लेवल. We'll be going through everything in this 70 days. $112? Well, so, see, there are two ways to solve this. एक तो ये है कि इसको मैं 50% minus 6.25% करके, and then I write 1 by 2 minus 1 by 16, then I calculate this. ये 8 minus 1, I'll get 7 by 16. And then I multiply 7 by 16 with 256 and I'll get my answer, that is 112. The other way is, while breaking it, let's solve it. Just when we are breaking, we should solve it. directly. Jason Amrut, of course. That's what I'm teaching. 43.75%, when we say 50%, automatically it means half. 250 का half कितना होगा? 128. And 6.25% is 1 by 16. 1 by 16 of 250 is 16 itself. Just subtract it and you get 112. So you can do it in both the ways. Either by converting into fraction, then multiplying by the given number, or you can directly, while identifying the percentage values, you can directly convert it. 50% half हो जाएगा, 6.25% 1 by 16th हो जाएगा, and that is how we can get the answer. So both ways are good. Whatever you like, you can do it. Which one do you like, by the way? The second one or the first one? Second one, right? मुझे भी यही पसंद है. All right. Now I would like to show you a very interesting property. See, 1 by 1 is equivalent to 100% and 1 by 2 is 50%. Now you can see that I am just trying to half, to just divide this thing by 2. 1 by 2, if I do it 1 by 4, again dividing by 2, I'll get 25%. If I do it again 1 by 8, I'll get 12.5%. Now here we should notice a pattern. When I do 1 by 16, I'll get 6.25%. Now we should notice a pattern over here. The pattern is whenever we have 0.5, point के बाद अगर 5 आ रहा है, इसका मतलब क्या होता है? इसका मतलब ये होता है कि हम कुछ ना कुछ करके इस नंबर को 8 से मल्टीप्लाई करके या 4 से मल्टीप्लाई करके एक नॉर्मल नेचुरल नंबर बना सकते हैं. सिमिलरली एंड में 0.25 आ रहा है तो मालूम पड़ जाता है कि 16 से मल्टीप्लाई करने पे 0.25 को हमें जब भी हम मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली हमारे पास क्या आ जाएगा? एक नेचुरल नंबर आ जाएगा. इसके एग्जाम्पल में देखते हैं. सो इफ समवन वांट्स टू कैलकुलेट, लेट्स से 12.25% of something like 250. 12.25% of 250. इस केस में हमें एग्जैक्टली क्या करना चाहिए? Yashika, you should just go through this crash course. Everything will be taken care of. So whenever we have something like this, we can do a lot of stuff. बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. 12.25% है. So you can calculate 12% of 250 directly. That is one thing. And 0.25% of 250. See, these things can be done mentally. मैं इसे break down कर रहा हूँ, इसको mentally कर सकते हैं. 12% of 250. ये करने के लिए क्या करोगे? देखो तुम बोलोगे 12 से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, इतना मुश्किल काम तो नहीं है, कर सकते हैं, but we can do one thing. Now look at this. You'll be surprised. What if I send this zero over here and this percentage over here? तब क्या बन जाएगा ये? This will look like 25% of 120, isn't it? See what I just did. मैंने बस परसेंटेज और जीरो यहां घुमा दिया. ऐसा क्यों किया मैंने? बिकॉज कैलकुलेटिंग 25% इज इजियर. 25% इज 1 by 4. यस और नो? सो दिस कम्स आउट टू बी 30 डायरेक्टली. हमारा काम काफी आसान हो चुका है. Isn't it? Isn't it? स्प्लिट ही किया है हर्ष. तो कितना मजा आ गया देख के ये. इट्स वेरी सिंपल. ठीक है. ऑलराइट. अब 0.25% यहां दिखाई दे रहा है. 0.25% 4 से मल्टीप्लाई करने में 1 आ जाएगा. तो अगर ये 1% होता तो हमारा आंसर कितना होता? 2.5. बट ये 1% का 1/4 है तो 2.5 by 4. इज दैट क्लियर? Harsh is saying, is it even legal? Understood all of you? All right, 0.625 is what we get. Answer is 30.625. The main thing which I needed to tell you that if you get 0.25 in the end, 4 से मल्टीप्लाई करने में काम बन जाएगा. If you get 0.5, 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करने में काम बन जाएगा. और इस तरह की चीज़ों में you can just manipulate the percentage and you can get the answer directly. This will be very much helpful in data interpretation. In data interpretation, it is very much helpful. And the kind of numbers that they use in CAT, they are the numbers which can actually be manipulated because they don't want you to be mathematicians. They want you to be managers. जो चीज़ों को देख के आसानी से ब्रेक कर जल्दी से आंसर निकाल सकें. Clear? Understood? Piyush, no, it's not time consuming. It's just that you are seeing it first time. That's why you feel like that. ठीक है? Point तो समझ में नहीं आया. अभी समझा देता हूँ. Let us take one more example. So, if I want to calculate 16% of, let's say 55, 16% of 55. Now, how can we do that? Of course, you can use calculators. That is there. But thing is, while using calculator, you will be spending around 5 seconds to solve this. But if you do it in mind, you will use only 2 seconds. That's it. Okay, this is simple. I can write it as 55% of 16. And 55% is easy, that is 11 by 20. We know, all of us know that. And this is how we can solve it directly. 44 by 5 or 8.8. These are few examples. There can be multiple things which can happen in front of you. And if your mind works like this, it's good. If it doesn't work like this, तो कोई बुरी बात नहीं है. It's just that you will be taking 5 seconds more than the people who are doing it this way. That's it. But I wanted you guys to know this stuff. Okay. Now how it will be helpful, because there can be questions. Let us solve a question and get to realize how it helps. Look at this question. A natural number x is 27.5% more than another natural number y. Find the minimum value of x. Here this will be very helpful because calculators would not solve the purpose in this kind of question. अभी मालूम पड़ जाएगी क्यों ये काम कर रहा है. Yes, Shivam, for any question, you can use this technique. Thanks, Vatsal. अब ये सवाल आपके सामने अगर आ गया, कैलकुलेटर यूज करते रहो, कोई फायदा ही नहीं होगा. Isn't it? Jason says 255. Okay, Jason, we'll be waiting for a few more answers. Oh, I'm so happy there are close to 700 people watching this. I'd be expecting at least 700 answers. Sharon says 51. Darshan says 55. Okay. And this kind of data is very common in data interpretation questions, isn't it? If you have solved a lot of DI questions, DI sets, then there is a high possibility that you will get to know, you'll get to an opportunity to solve something like this while comparing data elements, isn't it? दो तरह के आंसर आ रहे हैं हमारे पास, 51 and 255. Okay. So, how does it work? 27.5%, it's equal 25 plus 2.5. In terms of percentage, this is 1 by 4 and this is 1 by 40. So overall, we have 11 by 40, isn't it? 11 by 40 is what we have. Okay. So, natural number x upon y, if I want to compare, x, y से 27.5% ज़्यादा है. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अगर y 40 है तो x 40 से 11 ज़्यादा है. Can we say that? Yes or no? What does it mean? 11/40 ज्यादा, तो अगर y की वैल्यू 40 है तो x की वैल्यू 40 से 11 ज्यादा होगी. Yes or no? We get 51/40. This is the ratio of x and y. Now I need the minimum value of x. It will of course be 51. So when y is 40, x will be 51. Is that clear, everyone? Understood? This is beautiful. No? अब इसी क्वेश्चंस के डिफरेंट वेरिएशंस करते हैं. Now I am changing the percentage value and now it is 31.25%. If this is the value, then what will be the answer? चलो बताओ मेरे को. आकांक्षा, बाकी मेथड तो कैलकुलेटिव है. 27.5 अपॉन 100 करोगी, बहुत टाइम लग जाएगा. CAT mesocroic. I'll explain it by this example. So let us keep on changing example. That is why I'm giving different examples, so that the people who do not get it first time, they'll be able to get it the next time. नेहा 11/40 रेशियो है, बिल्कुल सही बात है. किसका रेशियो है? 27.5% is 11/40 ना. 27.5% मोर, मतलब 11/40 ज्यादा, 40 से 11 ज्यादा. दैट इज द थिंग ओवर हियर. अभी वो यहां समझ में आ जाएगा. 31.25%. First of all, we need to convert this into fractions. 31.25%. Now when you look at this is what I was talking about, the pattern. We have 25 after point, and overall if you see, this 125 is giving us some hint. It is giving us some hint. अगर आपको hint दिखाई नहीं दे रही, अभी दिखाता हूं मैं, देखना. If you remember, I wrote that 1/16 is 6.25, isn't it? And if I do it once more, 1/32, this will be equal to how much? 3.125, yes or no? 3.125, right? Is that right? So when we had 0.5 in the 8, it was 1/8. When we have 0.25 in the end, it is 1/16. When we have 0.125 in the end, it's 1/32. Now as you can see, this value is 10 times of 1/32, right? Is that right? आगे बात समझ में? So 1/32, 10 times is 10/32, which also means 5/16. So basically, number x y से 5/16 ज्यादा है. So if y is 16, x is 16 plus 5, that is 21. This is one of the ways. Otherwise, other way is just break it down as 25% plus 6.25%. That will also solve the purpose. 1/4 plus 1/16. All right. So you can choose either of the way, whatever comes to your mind first. You can do that, but in choosing both the ways, you will be able to save a lot of time, right? सबको समझ में आ चुका है हम 16 में 5 ऐड क्यों कर रहे हैं? जिसको समझ में नहीं आया उसे फिर से बताता हूं मैं. देखो, y तो 16 है, बट जो x है वो y से 5 ज्यादा है. जो x है वो y से 5 ज्यादा है, इसलिए हमने 16 में 5 ऐड किया. अगर लिखा होता नेचुरल नंबर x is 31.25% of y, then the answer would have been 5/16. But वो more than है, so 5 more than 16. Overall answer is 21, right? Chalo. So before going further, let me tell you one more thing, a very important thing. I have told this to many people, but those who have forgotten and those who do not know it, see, this 1 by 7, 1 by 1 से लेके 1 by 20 तक याद करना है. 1 by 7 की वैल्यू क्या होती है? This is equal to 14.2857%. 14.2857%. Now, if I remove the percentage, what is percentage? 1 by 100. If I remove the percentage, I'll get 0.142857. Right, this is what I'll get. There's a bar over it. What does a bar mean? ये 142857 बार बार आता रहेगा, ये कभी खत्म होगा ही नहीं. All right. So let me write this as 1, 4, 2, 8, 5 and 7. Starting from here, it is going in a clockwise fashion. It's going in a clockwise fashion. Jayan, that's right. Okay, understood this part. Now, if somehow you need to calculate, let's say 2 by 7. इसकी तुमने DI क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किया, 2 by 7 आ गया. Burn 1 by 32 is 0.03125. That's right. But in terms of percentage, you have to move decimal point 2 steps in the right side, right? This is why it was 3.125%. Okay, Burn? I hope that's clear. Well, now if I have to calculate 2 by 7, I'm speaking both the languages, the 0.915, nothing will be lost in translation, don't worry, because I'll be explaining that. 2 by 7, if you need to calculate, you just have to do one thing. First of all, if you put a point, a decimal, so what is going to happen? In normal division, what is going to happen? This becomes 20, yes or no? I'll just show you what did when you were kids. 7, here we have 2, you put a point, this becomes 0, right? This can be done mentally. So when you put a point, it becomes 20. So what will be the next number after a point? 7 1s are 7, 7 2s are 14, 7 3s are 21. Okay, it's 2s are 14 because 3 will be exceeding. 0.2. So we got the first digit, that is 2. Now look at this. Look at this. This will always follow the clockwise pattern. 2 starts here and it goes like this. So our answer will be 0.285714 or 28.5714%. See how important this will be, and this will keep on happening. It will keep on happening forever. So if I want to calculate, let's say I want to calculate 5 by 7. 5 by 7. So what is going to happen there? Those who are seeing it for the very first time, they will be surprised and excited at the same time. Put a point, we get 50. We get 50. 50. 7 sevens are 49. So the first, Tanisha, you will get it. Look at this again. When you have to calculate 5 by 7, there's one thing which is you are sure of, that this will start with 0.7. Yes or no? 7 sevens are 49. Now look at this cycle. 7 is here. Again clockwise fashion. This becomes 7 with 1, then 4, then 2, then 8 and then 5. This is 0.714285, or you can say 71.4285%. Is that clear? Hush, this happens only for 7. Cool. Interesting, isn't it? Now, if I want to calculate 6 by 7, what will be the answer? Tell me, be quick. 6 by 7. Tell me the answer, and then I'm going to give you a question. It's 85.7142 percentage. Perfect. That's right. Now you have a question in front of you. This question, I want you to tell me the value of a plus b plus c plus d, where a, b, c and d are single digit numbers, and a is not equal to 0. A is not equal to 0. Because if a is 0, then this will be a 5 digit number. I wanted 6 digit number only. A is not equal to 0, and you have to find the value of a plus b plus c plus d. Shivam, we did a similar question. In that it was 2 in the, it started with 2, not with 1. तो सबने आंसर निकाल दिया फटाफट है ना because we did that. See, what is happening here, the people who know this property of 1 by 7, now I want to tell you something. Whenever we have a question like this, whenever we get a feeling that there is a 6 digit number which is getting multiplied by something, and then the resultant is also formed of the same 6 digit numbers. As you can see, what has happened? When you multiply this number by 3, all the digits have shifted one place towards the left, isn't it? One place towards the left. So whenever we have a 6 digit number multiplied by something, and it gives the gives again a 6 digit number which is composed of same digits in a different fashion, it will move one place left, 2 place left, whatever it can happen. यहाँ पे 1 by 7 की property ही काम आने वाली है. Starts with 1, ends at 7. 1 by 7 is what? 0.14287. We know that. If you look at this, multiplied by 3 becomes 3 by 7, and if you calculate, you will get 0.428571. Now see what is happening. All the digits have shifted one place towards the left. 4 अपनी जगह से एक कदम आगे आ गया. So does 2, 8, 5, 7 and 1 goes here. Isn't it? This is what has happened. Look at the numbers. So 4, 2, 8, 5 is missing, and same we'll have here. We got the answer. 4 plus 2 plus 8 plus 5, that is 19. All right. This is interesting, isn't it? But in normal circumstance, if you don't know this, then what would you have done? See, 3 into 7 is 21. We got 1 over here, and here there will be carry forward, right? Normal multiplication. If you do it, normal multiplication. 3, 7, 21, we got 2 as the carry forward. 3 multiplied by d plus 2 is 7, or 3 multiplied by d plus 2 is ending with 7. Right? Mandeep, yes. Thanks, Gunjan. So, 3 multiplied by d plus 2 will always end at 7. Now we need to find such a value of d so that when it's multiplied by 3, we get 5 in the end. What will be the value of d in that case? It will be 5. 3 5s are 15. 3 5s are 15. जैसे काट के 5 लिख देता हूँ. 3 5s are 15 plus 2 is 17. We got 7 and 1 is the carry forward. Cool enough? Now we got the value of d as 5. I'll cancel d from here and get a 5. Now what do I have? 3 multiplied by c plus 1 is ending at 5. That means 3 multiplied by c should end at 4. When is that possible? Three multiplied by c should end at 4. तभी 1 ऐड करने 5 आएगा नीचे, isn't it? 3 8s are 24. 3 8s are 24. Plus 1 is 25. 2 is carried forward. Cool? 3 multiplied by b plus 2 is ending at 8. That means 3 multiplied by B should end at 6. It happens when 3 is multiplied by 2. 3 2s are 6 plus 2 is 8. There is no carry forward. B becomes 2. 3 multiplied by A should end at 2. 3 4s are 12. 2 goes here, 1 is carry forward. 3 1s are 3 plus 1 is 4 and A is 4. See, this is actually senseless, yeah, this is difficult. But once you know the property of number 7, 1 by 7, this becomes very easy. So that is why I needed you to know this part. Got it, everyone? अपराजिता, ये confusing है, छोड़ दो. पहला समझ में आ गया था अपराजिता? That 1 by 7 is 142857. You know the property, you are the privileged one, isn't it? Those who know this are the privileged ones. Okay. Let's move forward. Well, so I'll be giving you an idea about the CAT crash course. How is it happening? This is pre-CAT crash course, as you can see, where we are discussing the fundamentals and the basics. And this crash course will be consisting of all these things. There will be, of course, live classes and application classes as well. There will be mega marathons also. Like we are doing some marathons in the last 6 weeks. The mega marathons on arithmetic, algebra, geometry, you know, all these things will be there. There will be LRDI 70. It's a set of 70 different LRDI sets by the founder of this company, Mr. Inderjeet Singh. Then VRC will be having unique genre-wise RC videos. All these things will be there in this crash course with 9 workshops on QA, LRDI, VRC. Night classes, matlab application classes, and all day rigorous practice will be there. So, what I suggest you is that you do not require anything else, any book or any material. If you do only this much, which is a lot, you will crack more than 98 percentile. सारा वो होंगे ना, ये भी अभी ये pre crash course is only on YouTube. Yash, I will be teaching and Mr. Sajjan Banwal will be teaching. अलग से group होगा प्रांजला, yes. But अभी pre crash course चल रहा है, we are just doing the fundamentals. Okay, the next is ratio and proportion. This is very important in arithmetic. We are doing arithmetic right now. Okay, in arithmetic there are 2 things which are important: percentages and proportion. These 2 things are very, very, very important. Okay. Percentage का basic समझ गए हम लोग. Now we will do the basics of ratio and proportion. So when we say that 2 things have to be divided in the ratio of 5:8, 5:8. Okay. And tell me which of these following options, like there are n things, let's say there are n objects in total and I want to divide it into ratio of 5:8, then which of the following options is not possible? What cannot be the value of n? दिव्यांश, ये वाला क्लास 6 दिन तो होगा यूट्यूब पे. सारा अगर 7 से डिवाइड हो रहा था इम्प्रॉपर फ्रैक्शंस के साथ भी लग जाएगा. Vishal, this will be held until 24th November. Which is not possible. Of course, this one is not possible. Why? Because sum of this is 13. So basically when n is divided in 2 parts, that is 5 and 8, इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि n itself was a multiple of 13. Alright, n itself was a multiple of 13. Clear? So whenever we say that there are n objects which are divided in the ratio a is to b, then n will always be equal to a multiple of a plus b. All right. a multiple of a plus b. हमेशा ऐसा होगा where k is the constant. Rubery, yes, it's included in the last batch. This is clear? All right. Now, there are certain more things which you need to know. Second, if A is to B is equal to C is to D, then मैं छोटी बातें नहीं बताऊंगा कि B upon A is D upon C, वो तो पता ही है सबको. A upon C is B upon D, that is something which is kind of obvious. Let us deal with something else. If A is to B equal to C is to D, then A plus B is to B will be equal to C plus D is to D, and similarly A minus B is to B will be equal to C minus D is to D. At the same time, A plus B is to A minus B will be equal to C plus D is to C minus D. This will be very helpful in solving complex fractions. With questions, we will come to that. All right, this is clear. Similarly, Ka is to B will be equal to Kl is to D, where K is a constant. Ka is to Lb, sorry, this is C, not L. Ka is to Lb will be equal to Kc is to Ld. हर्षल बताया लिखा नहीं छोटी बात है. Okay, now there is one very important thing. I hope you written this down. Noted? Let's go ahead, and now you guys have to tell me A plus K upon B plus K and A upon B, इन दोनों में क्या relation होगा? Where K is a constant. K is a constant. तो ये वैल्यू इससे बड़ी होगी या छोटी होगी या बराबर होगी? That is what you have to tell. L, it was L. L was a constant. It was just a constant, nothing else. Similar, like K. K was a constant. L is also a constant. So tell me, this will be equal, greater than, or less than? Harsha says equal, Asta says equal, Mehak, Jevan, Life Moments, Devoshmita, सब लोग equal कह रहे हैं, सारे ही गलत हैं. Everyone is simultaneously wrong. The answer over here is that we cannot determine. This cannot be determined. CBD. This cannot be determined. हो ही नहीं सकता, पता नहीं चल सकता. We don't know. I'll give you an example. So let's say we have 2 by 3 and I am adding 1 to it. 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1. मैंने ऐसा कर दिया. So this is 3 by 4 and this is 2 by 3. Of course 3 by 4 is greater, isn't it? 3 by 4 is greater. है ना? 3 by 4 is greater than 2 by 3. But if I take something like 5 by 4 and I add 1 to it, then 6 by 5 and 5 by 4, which one is greater in this case? Of course, this is greater. See, so what has happened actually? What has happened? एक बार greater है, एक बार less है. So what is actually happening? Shivani, no. It doesn't depend on the value of K. No. It depends on the value of A and B. It depends on the value of A and B. If you can see here, A is less than B, like 2 is less than 3. And in this case, A is greater than B. 5 is greater than 4. Alright? Alright? So this is a proper fraction where numerator is less than denominator. This one is an improper fraction. All right. This one is an improper fraction where numerator is greater than the denominator. Okay. So now if I have to write, so if A is less than B, then A plus K upon B plus K and A by B, इसका relation क्या हो जाएगा? This will be greater. All right. And if A is greater than B, then A plus K upon B plus K will be less than A by B. Understood, all of you? Got it, everyone? This is very important. All right. All right. Now, if there are two variables x and y and we have a direct proportionality in between them, this is direct. That means that x and y both either increase simultaneously or decrease simultaneously. In that case, a and y both will either increase by a% or decrease by a%. That is known as direct proportionality. Direct proportionality. Here, if you see, all the algebraic, all the mathematical formulae are basically created by, I'll tell you something really beautiful over here. Mathematics बनी कैसे? ये जो formulae आप देख रहे हो, all these formulae, how were they created? How were they created? See, what happened? People just had to identify a few variables and then identify the relation between them. Here the relation of x and y is that x is directly proportional to y. That means the changes in y will be same as changes in x. Okay? Now listen to me carefully. If I want to convert this into an equation, I'll multiply y with an arbitrarily chosen constant. Let it be k. So x will be equal to ky. X will be equal to ky, which also means x by y is equal to k, where k is a constant. Okay, k is a constant. And as you know, x and y are variables. X and y are variables. All right. Variables keep on changing. So let us say that at one point of time x becomes x1 and y becomes y1. So then the ratio of x1 by y1 will be same as, let's say x becomes x2, y becomes y2. This goes on happening, x becomes xn, y becomes yn. Whenever we have something like this, if we divide it, we'll be getting k always. Is that clear? So I can say the quotient, what is quotient? Quotient is something which you obtain when you divide, right? When x is divided by y, you get a quotient, and that quotient is constant. So we can say when the quotient of two variables is constant, then those variables are said to be in direct proportion. Is that clear? Note it down somewhere. I am repeating. If the quotient of two variables is constant, then the variables are said to be in direct proportion. ठीक है? इसका मतलब ये भी हुआ कि अगर हमें मालूम पड़ गया कि दो चीजें, दो वेरिएबल डायरेक्ट प्रोपोर्शन में हैं, तो किसी भी फॉर्मूले के अंदर वो डिवाइड होके ही आ सकती हैं, मल्टीप्लाई होके नहीं आ सकती. Ankit, here proportionality is on y. Basically x is dependent on y. So y is the independent variable. That is why I wrote x equal to ky. Okay, yeah, I'll repeat. See, so now based on all of this, if somehow we get to know that there are two variables which are directly proportional, so they will be used inside a formula in such a way that they get divided. They won't be multiplying each other. Is that clear? They won't be multiplying each other. Or we can say they will be on the opposite sides of the equation. Like x is here, y is there. Clear? See, this is going to make a lot of sense. I hope you have noted this down. Now let me come to the inverse proportionality. In inverse proportionality, what happens? X is inversely proportional to y. Alright, that means when y will increase by a%, x will decrease by how much percent? By how much percent? And when y will decrease by a%, x will increase, you tell me by what percent? Well, now if I do the same thing over here, this becomes k multiplied by 1 by y, and as you can say, this will be xy equal to k. Now before going further, you guys need to tell me what will be the value of this percentage change in x. Arnab says A. Mehak also says A. Arvind Takshan says 1 by A. Gaurav says A by A plus X. And I'm really sad to look at this. Seriously, this is very saddening. मुझे बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं आ रहा ये देख के. I'm not liking it. The question is simple. If y increases by a%, then with what percentage x will decrease? In the previous question, in the previous case, डायरेक्ट में दोनों सेम ही परसेंटेज से बढ़ रहे थे या घट रहे थे. There's not a single person who can tell me the correct answer. अमर और धीरज, तुम लोग थोड़ा ध्यान सोचो, तुम सही निकाल दोगे. It's not 1 by 1 plus, it's something else. Ashmi, Dhyani and Ronit, very good. Only 2 people have told the correct answer. It's A upon 100 plus A percentage, and this is very disturbing, seriously. अब मुझे बहुत दुख हो रहा है. Satvik, good. And here it will be A upon 100 minus A percent. अच्छा किया मैंने आज ये प्री क्रैश कोर्स ले लिया. मतलब मैंने ले लिया, मतलब मैंने पढ़ा दिया. Because this is actually disturbing now. मेरे को ना अब ऐसा लग रहा है I have serious doubts. Okay, no problem. This means that you have to work extra. A lot, work a lot. Now, you have understood this. There's one more thing which you need to know. When we started this session, I talked about the fractional equivalent of percentages. Okay. So all the percentages can be converted into fractions. So let's say A% is equal to n by d, where n is the numerator, d is the denominator. 20% 1 by 5 हो गया, isn't it? Clear? n by d. Okay. So now अगर ये परसेंट की जगह रेशियो के फॉर्म में लिखा होता, let's say it is n by d, then this would have been n upon d plus n, and this would have been n upon d minus n. Note this down. This is the most important thing of arithmetic which you guys need to know. Otherwise, you won't be able to solve the problems of time, distance and speed, and time and work. Right, Satvik? Is that clear? देखो इसका मतलब क्या है, समझाऊंगा अभी आप लोग को. मैं एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. See, what does it mean? Let us choose two variables which we know in real world which are inversely proportional. That is speed and time, isn't it? Speed and time are inversely proportional if distance is constant. Sarah, yeah, I am repeating. With this example, you will be able to understand. See, speed and time are inversely proportional if distance is constant. Okay. So, when you are traveling and your speed increases, time will automatically decrease. Yes or no? And similarly, if your speed decreases, your time will increase to travel the same distance. Utkarsh, you are watching me on iQuanta channel, you are asking which is the best coaching for CAT. ये तो सवाल ही बड़ा अजीब सा हो गया. ये तो वही हो गया कि बनारस की गली में जाके बोलो घाट कहाँ है. Okay, so speed and time are inversely proportional. It means that if you increase your speed by 1/5, your time will decrease by 1/5 plus 1. Is that clear? If you move with a speed that is 20% more than usual, then automatically the time will decrease by 1/6. Understood? This is the example, which is very important. Cool. Tell me in the comments, is this understood by everyone? ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे आते हैं. This is what we were discussing. डायरेक्ट प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी में डिवाइड हो गया. यहाँ पे आप देखो मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा है. सो x and y are multiplying to get a value k. I'll write this again. So x multiplied by y is k in inverse proportion. So I can say x1 y1. Let's say x becomes x1, y becomes y1, x becomes x2. So basically all this will be, the product will be equal x and y, and this is called product consistency. This will be equal to k. Product consistency. All right. Yeah, Atul. I'll repeat it through by a different example. Clear? Okay, great. Now, so I was telling you that through proportionality, through ratio proportion, one can create any formula they want to, any formula. Let us try to create one formula. Okay, let's do that. And this will be totally clear in your mind. So, let's create a formula. I am assuming n to be a variable, which means number of workers. Then d means number of days. W means work done. And E means efficiency of a worker. Efficiency of a worker. Now I want to create a formula. Okay? I want to create a formula. Let me create the formula. So as I told you earlier, once you identify that two variables are directly proportional, they should be divided, and if they are inversely proportional, they should be multiplied. Isn't it? Yes or no? Is that right? Understood? ये बात समझ में आई कि नहीं आई? When we discussing direct proportion, I said the quotient is constant and inverse, the product is constant. So let us look at these values. For reference, let us take n. N is the number of workers. Now you tell me number of workers or number of days, they will be related to each other in what way? Direct or inverse? Direct or inverse? What way? I need to place D somewhere. I want to place D somewhere. शिवम पूरा समझ में आ जाएगा अभी देखना. Inverse, right? Yeah, inverse, of course. This is logical. This is obvious. If there are more number of workers, they will take less number of days. इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है? ये समझने के लिए तो इंसान होना भी जरूरी नहीं है. ये बात तो गधा भी समझता है ना? ज़्यादा गधे मिलके कम दिन लगाते हैं काम करने में, right? So basically, I am just telling you, mathematics is very simple. The animals also understand it. Non-human animals, and we are humans, the most intelligent ones. We understand this part, isn't it? Inverse होगा भाई, ज़्यादा लोग कम दिन लगाएंगे. So when I want to create a formula by using n and d, I need to multiply n and d both. All right? बिरला वो MDH मसाला concept, you know, I don't like. ठीक है, अच्छा है याद करने के लिए, but वो बहुत जोक बन जाएगा मैथ्स के ऊपर. Let us be more logical. Okay. Well, now coming to W, work done. So I am taking for reference N is the reference. So what will be the relation of W with N? Work done. Again, this is common sense. Maths आपको आती हो ना आती हो सबको पता है. ज़्यादा लोग ज़्यादा काम करते हैं. Isn't it? More the people, more the work. It's a non-brainer. So that means N and W are directly proportional. When they're directly proportional, that means W will not multiply with N. It will basically divide N. Yes or no? You got that? In direct proportion, we use we just divide, and in inverse, we multiply. Clear? Cool. Coming to E, that is efficiency of a worker. So tell me, what will be the relation between number of workers and efficiency of each worker? What will be the relation? Inverse, exactly. Inverse. Like if we have more efficient people, we require less number of people. Asmi is saying direct. Asmi, are you sure? It will be inverse. You see, when Salman Khan goes to Pakistan, he kills 3 people. When Shah Rukh Khan goes to Pakistan, he kills only 1 person. If Arjun Kapoor goes to Pakistan, he will be killed himself. When Sunny Deol goes to Pakistan, he will kill the entire army, isn't it? So Sunny Deol is the most efficient in killing people. That means more the efficiency, less the number of people. Okay, it will multiply. So NDE upon W is what we need. What we will get, and if I place N1, D1, E1, W1, this will be equal to N2, D2, E2 upon W2. Clear? उत्कर्ष इकोनॉमिक्स में ऐसा होता है, I know that is a different concept altogether, but economics takes into account a lot of other variables. In this case, we have only 4 variables. Rest everything remains constant. So for the people who love economics a lot, for them I have a term, and the term is ceteris paribus. Okay, which means all the physical and chemical conditions remaining constant. Now are you happy? Okay, so economics, I'm not trying to prove that wrong. I know what does it mean, but keeping all the conditions constant, this will happen. Cool. So what we did today, we realized how mathematical formulae are made. बचपन से लेके आज तक आप सब कुछ रटते थे, बट अब रटने की जरूरत नहीं है. Isn't it? क्या करना है हमें? We can create our formula on our own because we don't require anything. We just have to be only this much intelligent that we realize, understand that what will be the relation between variables. Once we get that, we need what to multiply and what to divide. That is all. This is how universal gas equation was created. PV, you remember that? PV is equal to nRT, yes or no? ओके. अरे रघुवंश, 40 मिनट में नहीं करना, 40 मिनट में बैठने के लिए पहले ये सब करना है. If you have to cut a tree, you have to sharpen your axe for years, isn't it? Okay. Let's come to the question. The first question on ratios. Solve this. अरे रिमझिम वो MDH वो महाशियां दी हट्टी. इस नाम दी कंपनी हैगी पंजाब तो, मसाले बनाते हैं. जयंत को पता है, जयंत खुद ही पूछ रहा है MDH महाशियां दी हट्टी. बट some people they use this jumla for men, days and hours. NDH को MDH बोल रहे हैं. Now, I was born and brought up in Chandigarh. I'm not Punjabi by blood, but yeah, as a child I was there only, as a teenager. Chandigarh. Everyone is getting 52 as the answer. The ratio of current ages of Romeo and Juliet is 7/6. 10 years hence, the ratio of their ages will be 1917. Find the sum of the current ages. Okay, you got 52. That is correct. All right. So now I'll tell you two different ways to solve this question. One way is normal conventional approach. So what they do, they assume the ages of these guys, Romeo and Juliet, one of my favorite couples, but the story ended ridiculously. Let the age of Romeo be 7K and Juliet be 6K. Okay, where K is of course an arbitrarily chosen constant. Okay, yeah, Varshini will come to that. 7K and 6K. So 10 years hence, Romeo will be 7K plus 10 and the girl Juliet will be 6K plus 10, and this will be equal to 19/17. Now you can cross multiply, get the value of K and then add them up. 13K will be the answer, right? This is how you can solve it. The value of k will be 4. All right. Okay. Now, we need to understand certain things. For ratio, this becomes very important, very interesting at the same time. ध्यान से सब लोग मेरी बात देखेंगे, सुनेंगे. 7 by 6 and here we have 19 by 17. The gap in between is 10 years. All right. In the real world, the gap is 10 years. So you must have heard people saying that ratio is the simplest fraction, right? All of you have heard that saying. यही होता भी है ratio. I say ratio is the soul of two quantities. Soul of two quantities. ठीक है? या फिर ऐसा बोल दे, there are two worlds. One is the world of ratios, other is the real world. So in the real world, how many years have passed? 10 years have passed. Real world का हमारे पास सिर्फ एक ही data है, that is 10 years, and the rest data is relative. Ratio is the relative quantity, right? Ratio is a relative quantity. So when you look at this, in the real world gap is 10 years, but in the world of ratios here gap is 12 and here gap is 11. That's so bad. If somehow I make this gap equal to 10 for both the values, I'll get my answer. Yes or no? How do that? See, this is the horizontal gap and this is the vertical gap between their edges. Here it is 1 and here it is 2. All right. So when you want to compare these two, vertical as well as horizontal gaps should be same. Should be same. To make them same, what can be done? Here the gap is 2, here the gap is 1. If I multiply this by 2 by 2, I'll get 14 by 12. The gap becomes 2 and here also the gap is 2. The vertical gap is sorted, automatically horizontal gap will be sorted. Vertical gap is 2 now, and if you can see, the horizontal gap is 5 for both of them. Now our life is simpler. Now our life is simpler. 5 is the gap, the horizontal gap in the world of ratios, and in the real world it was 10 years. 5 units is equivalent to 10 years. That means 1 unit of ratio is equivalent to 2 years in the real world. Can we say that? Yes or no? Can we say that? We can say that. 5 units in the ratio is equal to 10 years in the real world. That means 1 unit of ratio is equal to 2 years of real world. The Romeo ki age 14 units will be equal to 28 years in the real world, and Juliet ki age 12 units will be 24 years in the real world, and we got our answer. Is that clear? This is very interesting and very helpful. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, I'll just do that again. Seven by 6 was the gap earlier, 9 by 7 is the gap earlier. The main aim of our life right now is to equate the horizontal gap. For that, you just equate the vertical gap. Once you do that, your life will be sorted. Okay, I'm repeating. Here the gap is of 2 units. Here the gap is of 1 unit. To make the gap equal to 2, we need to multiply this by 2 by 2. If I increase both of them twice, the gap will also increase by twice. Yes or no? अगर ये दोनों लोग डबल हो गए तो गैप भी डबल हो जाएगा. कॉमन सेंस की बात है. So 14 by 12 is what we have now. Here we have 19 by 17. Now if you look at the gap, it's 5 units in both the cases and becomes simple. So 5 units here is equal to 10 years here. That means 1 unit here is equal to 2 units there. So 14 units here is equal to 28 years there, and 12 becomes 24. Add them and get your answer, that is 52. Clear? नो रिमझिम 5 into 13 कैसे कर दोगी? Varshniya, it's possible everywhere. It's not just A equal to A is greater than B. It's possible when A is less than B. Doesn't really matter. Okay. One more question. Tayal, I told you 1 unit in ratio is equal to 2 years in the real world. So 14 multiplied by 2 is 28. Anushka, yes. If you solve the vertical gap, horizontal automatically gets solved. Vishal, well done. People watching on Facebook, did you understand? Toxic Hirsch, 1.6 lakh. Lot of you got the same value. Okay, it might be correct. Well, so we will do it by writing the relevant things only. Price is directly proportional to square of weight. Okay, I'll wait for some more answers. Very good. All of you getting the same answer. Well done. So, before and after, the classic technique of advertising, no? Before and after. अभी ना मैं क्वेश्चन कोई कैट का पुराना सवाल था उसके मैंने बस वैल्यू चेंज कर दी है. Before and after. So before breaking, the weight was in terms of ratio की units in the world of ratios. It was 1 plus 3 plus 4. Earlier they were all together, these three parts. And let us take the square of it. Why? Because the price is nothing but a function of square of weight. Can we say that? Price is a function of square of weight. After it becomes 1 square plus 3 square plus 4 square, isn't it? This is equal to 8 square, 64. And this is equal to 1 plus 9, 10 plus 16, 26. So in the world of ratios, the price has gone down by how much? 64 to 26. Alright. The price has gone down by 38 units in the world of ratios. And in the real world, it has gone down by 95,000. 38 is equivalent to 95,000. What do we want? We want the initial price. That is, we want the 64 units का answer. We want this much. 64 units किसके बराबर होंगे? That will be our answer, isn't it? 38 is equivalent to 95,000. Okay. Now you know, when I formed the question, I made it in such a way that it gets cancelled. 19 2s are 38, 19 5s are 95. 2500. That means 1 unit of ratio is equal to 2500 rupees in the real world. So 64 units will be equal to 64 into 2500. Right? Answer is 1.6 lakhs. Is that clear? So now I think you guys are oh wow, algebra. You guys are now totally ready. The fundamentals for arithmetic are clear. Let me create a question. Mother is to son. The ratio of their ages is let's say 16 is to 9. All right. Note down the question. The ratio of current ages of mother and son is 16 is to 9. Which of the following can be the ratio of their ages 10 years hence? Okay, that is what you have to find out. I am giving you the options also. इनमें से कौन सा इनका 10 साल बाद एज का रेशियो हो सकता है? That is what you need to find out. Is that clear? Okay, so let me write the values. The last option is cannot be determined. Algebra से डर क्यों है इतना? Algebra is the real love. AD ऐसा हो रहा है. Okay. People who are marking cannot be determined. Why? Why are you marking D? Tell me. Why do you think CBD is correct? ठीक है शुभम, कोई बात नहीं, अलजेब्रा हम नेक्स्ट सेशन में कर लेंगे. टुमारो यू हैव LRDI, डे ऑफ टुमारो यू हैव VARC, देन यू हैव Quant Foundation. Again we'll do algebra geometry over there because actual age is not mentioned. That is why. No, this was the trick and I tricked you in believing that D is correct. D is wrong actually. ये नहीं होगा. Correct answer is A. See, I told you, we discussed a property. If A is greater than B, then A plus K upon B plus K will be less than A by B. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? कुछ भी अगर उसमें ऐड होगा तो रेशियो की वैल्यू कम हो जाएगी. 16/9, what is this equal to? This is equal to 1.77. This is equal to 1.7. कम हो गई है. It is possible. This is more than 1.7, isn't it? This is 1.875. This is 2.5. These two guys are not possible. Only A is possible. Right? So I just showed you one thing कि कुछ चीज़ें आप सामने देखते हो तब भी ध्यान से नहीं देखते. कुछ प्रॉब्लम है जो आप भूल जाते हो and you commit some mistakes. So even if you know a lot of things over here in this session that I took today, still I know there's a lot to take back. So whatever I have done, just make notes of it, revise it, and be ready for the next session in pre-crash course, which will be LRDI tomorrow, then VRC, then again we'll go to Quant, and I'll be taking up algebra and geometry. Okay? आर्यन पूरा होगा, सब कुछ पूरा होगा. Geometry, algebra, everything will be done completely. Tayal, for improving quants, for the people who are weak in basics, this is why I'm taking the basics classes. These are the basics. Okay? So here I would like to take your leave. We'll meet again day after, tomorrow. Apurva, मैं मन था algebra भी कराने का, but now I can see that people are scared of algebra and they need to start fresh. So go through this once and we'll do algebra and geometry day after tomorrow. Okay, Nirav, number systems will be done in the proper crash course. Pre-crash course जो है वहाँ पे number system नहीं करेंगे. That's what I'm saying. Only the fundamentals of 3 topics will be done. Okay, so I think you guys liked it, and even I like training you guys. I'm seriously, I love, I love talking to people and training people. Somehow it develops a bond which is rarely seen these days in the virtual world. But the best thing that virtual world has done is connecting to people for learning from each other. Thank you everyone. We'll meet again. Bye-bye. Dheeraj, you can contact me through LinkedIn. You can type my name. I'm easily accessible. You can just Google out my name and get all the links. Go to LinkedIn and you'll find it. Thanks, Udit, for my denim shirt. Nabita will be tomorrow. Arijit on the dashboard. VJ, CNN, I love you too. I don't know your name. Anyways, practice question, Arjit, that will be on the dashboard. Adios, Aman. Bye-bye everyone. Nobida, it's tomorrow. Bye, Sergi. Yeah, Nitesh. You'll have access to crash course as well. Application class. I have shared this thing with you. This what do you say? The schedule. I think there is a class. Kushi, TST time in work basics he percentage and ratios. We'll take a complete chapter of TSD and time. TSD and time work.